Welcome back, everybody, to your favorite gambling podcast, or what I now call your girlfriend's favorite podcast. I don't know how you feel about that one. I kind of like it. I thought
Uh,
of it.
yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, your number one podcast, your girlfriend's favorite podcast. I mean, it should be your girlfriend's favorite podcast because if she's feeding you the information that she's getting from us, you're doing pretty damn well right now.
Yeah,
If I
yep.
do
That's
say
what
so
I'm talking.
myself.
That's what my Twitter post was for Valentine's Day. I said,
I
hey,
know. I
you
was
saw
dying
those.
at that. I was dying. I loved it.
I couldn't think of anything witty, and then I'm driving to work. I'm like, oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, that was pretty witty. It really
Thank you, sir.
was. It
You know.
was. Yeah.
Anyway, we are betting the diagonal. I'm Billy. That's Greg. Follow Greg at Gersh Greg. He needs some followers up on Twitter. Morgan's not here tonight. He has an emergency to take care of, so it's going to be a short episode because we don't have to listen to Morgan babble on for about 45 minutes.
And the fans know that that's what happens. You know, we love Morgan, but he's full of insight and useful and unuseful banter.
Yes, absolutely. Right now he would be just yelling about something already.
Hmm.
Um, there won't be a 20-minute conversation about Jordan Clarkson that you start, or I mean, there could be. I saw a nice
Well,
Jordan Clarkson quote the other day that I saved on my phone, but
oh
I'll just
yeah,
send it to you later. I don't want to. I don't want to bore the people about Jordan Clarkson one more time.
that's fair. I mean, I could start it, but I know that you wouldn't proceed with it as nearly as long as Morgan did.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it might change your opinion on him, but no, let's see if it's right here. Yeah, it is. It's right here. Y'all know how we have dogs and stuff, right? So I think it was bigger people in the world before us, and dinosaurs were their pets. That's a quote from an interview.
really,
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh.
you should stop talking and just keep shooting.
You think he should still get 40 minutes a night?
I mean, he put up 40 the other night,
He did.
so I think he should just stop talking and keep shooting.
Yep. I thought it was hysterical. Um, let's just get into the NBA because I know you got some stuff to talk about for the NBA, and I
All
haven't even
right.
looked at it, but I am hot. I am hot, and I will have a pick.
All right. So, all right, we'll move to NBA here. I'll start off with Knicks -4 versus the Orlando Magic. I I believe I wrote versus Magic, which in my records is telling me that they're home, but I don't believe that the Knicks are. I believe they're traveling to Orlando, and they're giving 4 points against a team that is 2-8 in their last 10. Knicks are going for their fourth straight win. They're hot right now. Like I never thought that I'd see this happen. I mean, I guess that's stupid to say because you know life is long. We're gonna see tons of things, but to see the Knicks in the playoff picture right now, sitting in the sixth seed, one game under 500, it's a sight for sore eyes for a lot of people. You know, so yeah, Knicks are going for their fourth straight win. They're 16-13 against the spread on the season, 9-7 against the spread on the road. Like I said, Magic have dropped 5 of their last 8. I mean, 8 of their last 10, excuse me, and they're 5-8 against the spread at home. Plus, Orlando just lost Cole Anthony till past the All Star break, so they're even slimmer in their backcourt after losing Markel Fultz as well. So I don't really know who they're going to lean on to bring the ball up. Maybe Evan Fournier, but I see the Knicks rolling with this one, making it 4 straight in a row, and they have a nice upcoming schedule coming against the bottom half of the NBA. So I see them looking at this as a momentum time going into the All Star break.
I like that. I like that. Knicks are also 4-0 in the last against the spread in the last 4 games.
Yeah, yeah, they're on fire. I hope everyone voted for Julius Randle to make the All Star game today. It's not even coming from a Knicks fan. It's just coming from a guy that is watching, sports day in and day out, and he deserves it. He deserves it. Going into today, he was like number 8 in in the front court in the East in the voting. I don't know if that actually gets in, but he should definitely
In
be
the
in the All Star
front
game.
court, I think it does get in.
Does it?
I
Because
think so.
I had to look it up just to make sure. But that consists of small forward, power forward, and centers. So that even makes it eighth place in better company, in my opinion. But like I said, I wasn't sure if that got in or not. Um, but yeah, today was like double voting for the All Star game because it was the last day, so every vote counted for 2.
Oh shit! Should have told me. I would have voted for him.
Yeah, and he dropped 44 last night
Mm-hmm.
in his last game before that voting ended. So hope he got in. Moving on, I have Pelicans Blazers over 231.5. Pelicans coming off this big win tonight where they dropped 144 points, I believe it was. And the Blazers, they're scoring themselves. It's honestly, it's crazy to me what they're doing without McCollum and Nurkic. Although Nurkic wasn't, an offensive powerhouse down in the paint, he was just a presence there that you were able to pick and roll with. And Cantor's done a good job in replacing him. He really has. He's created a lot of second chance opportunities with offensive boards, and guys like Gary Trent Jr. and Mello, they're shooting well. So I have a couple stats here that the Pelicans are averaging 127 points a game over their past 5.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a lot of damn points. And the Blazers are averaging 116 over their past 5, which still extremely respectable. Also, New Orleans is 19-8 to the over on the season, and the Blazers are 15-12 to the over. So at a
Sounds.
number like 231.5, it seems like a solid play there.
It seems like you just talked me into a second NBA game.
Hey, there we go. That's what I love to hear. I mean, I'm not even going to say what I was going to say because we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Believe me, you'll hear
Over,
from me about it.
real quick. The over is 18-3, and the Pelicans last 21.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So what did I say? The Pelicans are 19-8 to the over on the season. So you said 18-3. So they started 1-7. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've definitely come into form on their offense. And Zion's shooting the lights out of the gym at an extremely efficient clip too. I mean,
Yep.
coming into the game, he was shooting 61%.
He's just
And
efficient.
yeah, he's really efficient.
He just gets to the basket. I haven't really watched too much. I'm not the biggest NBA guy. I haven't really got to
Hmm.
watch him too much in the NBA, but I know it Duke. Like he just goes straight to the basket. Nobody's
Yeah.
gonna stop that fucking train.
Yeah, I watched about a quarter and a half of that game tonight because it was prime time. And yeah, he's just a freight train going to the rim. Everyone just makes a business decision and steps out of the way. And yeah, it's a good decision.
Most of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And like I said, he was shooting 61% from the field before this game. He was 13 of 16 tonight.
Jeez. He's
Yeah,
an animal.
he's an animal for sure. Um, Next game I have here, and last game for the NBA. I'm gonna go with Nuggets -3.5 at the Wizards. Nuggets are coming off tough loss tonight at Boston. I didn't play that game tonight. I wouldn't have felt comfortable playing either side, but Boston won pretty handily, I believe by like 10 or 11 points. But I don't know. The Wizards don't do anything for me. I know they score the rock at a really nice clip, but honestly, so do the Nuggets. And when it comes down to it, I'm gonna go with the better team. Although it's a back to back, I just I have no reason not to play the Nuggets. I think it's one of the bottom like basement dwellers in the NBA. And Denver's 2-1 against the spread. on 0 days rest. That's a winning percentage, and I'm gonna ride it.
All right. All right. I like that. I got a question though.
Sure.
Not about that game, but about a different game that I'm thinking about playing with the Jazz. The Jazz are currently
Hmm.
1 point favorites, I believe. I don't have a
Okay.
line on my book, but like just some researching it online, it says 1 point.
Hmm.
Um, yes, we know that they're 21-7 against the spread.
Hmm.
Would you be willing to lay any sort of points, any sort of money really, on the Jazz against the Clippers tomorrow if Kawhi does play? Because I'd assume if Kawhi plays, they become dogs.
Yeah, I'm thinking this line. You have Jazz -1. That's what you saw.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I'm
double
I'm
check it, but that's what I have.
yeah, I'm assuming that line is saying that they're unsure whether Kawhi plays.
Yeah,
I would assume that he's going to. And when they make the announcement that he's going to, I don't think it moves that much. Maybe Clippers -1. You
interesting. Would
know,
you be willing to take them as dogs for the straight
I
up win?
I would, I would. And if it
Yeah.
moves to Jazz +1, I think I mentioned this to you the other day, or maybe even last night, off of our podcast. That if it's a +1, I'm always going to take the money line
Yeah, of course.
because
Yeah,
I'm not going to push to a 1 point loss.
yeah. That's
How
that's
often
the
does that
saddest.
happen?
That's the saddest thing in the world. It
Exactly.
happens way too often, actually,
I know,
in basketball.
unfortunately, but I would definitely still play the Jazz at a +1 if Kawhi's playing. I have no reason not to. I mean, the only injury designation for the Jazz is Mike Conley, and we already know that he's missed 5 games in a row. So that doesn't really do much to me. My man Jordan Clarkson's going to see a lot of minutes. Donovan Mitchell's going to do his thing. Rudy Gobert is going to eat up the glass, and yeah, I could see them riding this to another win and another cover.
Beautiful. I like it. I like it. Well, that's it for the NBA. I have it's almost March. It's almost March. Almost time for March Madness, boys. Or boy.
Man,
I'm so used to having both of you here now, so I was saying boys.
I know,
Come
I
on,
know.
boys. Um,
My
so
palm, my
without
palms are itchy right now thinking about it.
oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. We gotta have something special going. By the way, since for the viewers that are listening, we have the Nets sprinkle on the money line. It's a 3 point game right now. So if you see us get a little distracted real quick, don't mind us. Um, without further ado, I wanted to bring up some mid majors that we should watch out for the tournament. Just for underdog purposes. A lot of public bettors don't know these teams like we do. Like obviously, most people know Drake at this point, 16-4
Hmm.
against the spread. Toledo, Morgan talks about him every episode, 16-6 against the spread. My Belmont boys have become amazing against the spread at 14-4,
Hmm.
but most people don't know who Utah State is. I've been banging their drum for 3 years now. I know Greg knows. I tell him I tell him every weekend
I
about my
do.
um the every pretty much anybody from the Mountain West, all they do is cover. The top four teams, they
Hmm.
cover, they cover, they cover. So if they make it to the tournament, be prepared with your money to bet on them.
Hmm.
A couple other low key names, like obviously now Loyola Chicago is in the top 25. A lot of people know about them, but Wright State 12-9 against the spread, 17-4 overall.
Hmm.
It's a little something interesting when they went out and they get into the tournament. Some I might be looking to bet on. Um, VCU always plays very, very good defense unless I'm betting on them, of course. But be looking for them for little unders. Same with Vermont if they wind up winning their conference. A couple under plays for them. Um, that's where you make your money. I was talking to a kid at work before we get into our picks, and he was like, "Well, you're not going to place a bet on Illinois tonight?" I'm like, "No, I'm not going to place a bet on Illinois because it's a prime time game. It's the game that Vegas and everybody wants you to bet on.
Hmm.
And if you bet on them, you don't take the favorite. You take the dog most of the time, just because it's just the way the cookie winds up crumbling, in my opinion, at least."
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And were you still at work when they were up like 25-6?
no, I was off today, but he texted me.
Oh,
He was
okay.
like, "You
Yeah,
should
because
have
he's
bet
probably
on
like,
him." Like,
you're so dumb. Why didn't you bet on them?
yeah, I mean, it's the same kid I gave that over in the Seton Hall game, which
Mm,
was one of the worst basketball games ever. Both teams shot 30%. They combined for 7 of 40 from 3-point line. It was brutal, and I don't want to talk about it. So from here on out, Seton Hall, once again, you are dead to me. We're never betting on you again until next time. They are playing tomorrow. I do not have a play on them. Don't worry. My first play for Wednesday's slate is going to be Iona -6 against Quinnipiac. Similar to last week's pick with Iona, they're just a better team than Quinnipiac is. I spent most of last year fading Quinnipiac because they were absolute garbage. They're slightly better this year, but still pretty garbage. Um, Iona's won the last five. Their last five wins, they've won by an average of 11 points, and Quinnipiac has lost by an average of 7 points. So just on that, and the fact that Iona is 4-2 against the spread on the road this year, I'm gonna lay the 5.5 to 6, wherever it is. It's still varying right now on Iona. Um, my
you,
next, I just
you like that conference.
I love these conferences, man. Like I could tell you what most teams play in conferences just because of how long I've watched. Not even because like of betting, just because how long I've watched. It's like one kid was like, "Oh, what conference is he in?" I tell him, "It's no problem. I got it."
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, my next play, big heavy favorite. I don't know if this is on your card or not,
I
but it
know
should be
exactly what you're gonna say.
Loyola Chicago minus
Yeah.
20.5 versus Valpo. Valpo is straight garbage. One of the worst teams in the country. They Earlier this year, Loyola played Valpo. They absolutely destroyed them, made them look like a high school team. They won 75-39. Loyola's coming off a hard split against Drake, where the first game they shot just under 64%, and then the next game Drake had to bounce back and shut them down, and they shot their season low of 35%. Loyola's a great defensive team, mainly because they manhandle teams like Valparaiso. They're only allowing 55.9 points per game. Loyola has not lost on their home floor since December of 2019. Obviously, Valpo's not going to come anywhere close to beating them, but it's just a little stat for people at home. Um, they won the last 19 games at home, and also my big reason why I'm betting on this game. Loyola is 17-5 in the last 22 games against the spread versus a team with a record of under 400. So any bad team, they just manhandle, absolutely manhandle. You know, I'm a big Allman Brothers fan. Give me the Ramblers by a million because I'm a rambling man.
You're a rambling man.
I'm
I like
assuming
that.
you're also on that game.
I did not have it on my card, but I'm contemplating, and you know, I'm glad you brought it up because I really do want to play it.
You should.
I think I want to play it before it goes up even more.
I already played it. I played it at -20.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I got to get that in before it goes to like 23.
Yeah, I'd take it 23. I'd take it at
Yeah,
25. They're gonna beat the balls off of them.
yeah.
Now that
I mean,
they're a ranked team, they've had enough.
Valparaiso only plays good against Drake. Oh boy, this Nets game is a 1 point game.
Yep, I know. I'm watching. Eyes up here, Greg. you know
Ah,
how. Still talking. It's all good.
I'm
You're
trying.
fine. Speaking of Drake, that's my next play. Is Drake -5.5 against Northern Iowa. I was a big Northern Iowa guy last year, and I thought they'd do the same this year. They covered a lot of games for me last year. But Drake, they do one thing and one thing only, and that's cover basketball games. Similar to how Loyola, it was a big game for Loyola. But what just happened? I'm
James
behind.
Harden just hit a three.
Let's go. Oh, that was mean. Right in the dome. I'm 30 seconds behind Greg, so don't mind me. I stream on YouTube TV, hashtag not a sponsor. Um, Back to my pick. Uh, just like how Loyola Chicago beat Drake and it was a big win for them. Same thing with Drake. That was their best win of the season. Um, you know, they bounced back real well after getting manhandled, pummeled against Loyola. They came back and won, shut them absolutely down. That means a lot for a Drake team that people like they said they were a great team in the country, should be in top 25. It meant a lot for them to be able to come back and win the next night. And I think that put them back on track. And I think that they beat Northern Iowa by double digits, so I'm laying the 5.5. No problem.
I'm surprised that line's so low.
Yeah, I mean Drake lost by almost 30 last week, so you have to take
Yeah,
in.
yeah. I mean, I understand that, but it was to the team that was ranked higher than them, and the team that they came out and beat by one the next day.
Hmm?
So, I mean, I understand it's a road game against Northern Iowa, but 5.5, it seems like a steal.
Yeah, like I said before, Drake is 16-4 in the last 20 games against the spread. They're 4-2 in the last 6 against the spread against Northern Iowa, and in the last 20 games, Northern Iowa is 4-14-2 to the spread.
Yeah.
So there's no reason that this line should be 5.5. Give it to me all day and all night. My final college basketball pick for now. I'm still looking through a couple more for tomorrow, but for now, what's that grin on your face? What's going on over there? Is USC -10 going up against Arizona State? USC is on fire, and they now control the top spot in the Conference of Champions. A defeat that one of my heroes, Bill Walton, be proud of. Conference of Champions. Um, USC is shooting 48% from the field and averaging about 30. I'm sorry, not 35, 75 points per game. Um, USC has also won their last 5 out of 6, and in those 5 wins, they've won by, oh my god, they've won by a average scoring margin of 13 points. ASU is bad. Just flat out bad. They have Remy Martin, who's a great player, and I think he'll do well at the next level. But outside of that, they're just a bad team.
Mhm.
They're 3-13 to the number this year. Don't like that at all. Where USC is 13-7, and they are 7-4 against the spread at home. Give me the Mobley brothers, like the Mario brothers, double digits. Good teams win, great teams cover, and Arizona State is neither one of those teams.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Remy Martin, he's been super inconsistent this year too. He was out for a little while, I know
Hmm.
as well. But even ever since he came back, I mean, he hasn't been the leading scorer in I feel like a lot of their games.
Yeah. Well, he really he doesn't really have anybody truly to lean on.
Hmm.
Like he has to be a facilitator and a scorer,
Hmm.
and just put everything on his back. And like when you do that, you get tired. Just like any other sport. The best player doesn't always perform. Like the sumo didn't perform too well tonight. He only had 13 points. They got the win. They
Right,
didn't
he's
cover.
clutch though. He is
Oh my
clutch
god,
down the stretch.
that deep three to end it was wild.
Yeah,
Oh, it was brutal. I took a live money line on that, and I was like, on Northwestern. I was just so upset when that one went in because Northwestern
yeah.
had all the momentum. Um, One more side note in the USC game that I'm leaning. I haven't placed the bet yet. is the under. I forgot what the number is. I don't know, Greg, if you can look it up for me right quick.
Sure.
Um, USC is 38 and 18 to the under in the last 56 home games, and I've already told you how well they play on the road. So give
One
it to me.
146.
146. Yeah, yeah, give me that for sure. Give me that for sure. I don't think Arizona State scores 65.
Okay.
I'm going to add that to my card officially. Um, under 146 and a half or
Yes.
just straight
Now it's
146?
straight.
Give it to me. I'll take it. Greg, what do you have for us for college hoops?
All right. For college hoops, folks, I'm unbelievably hot. Unbelievably hot. From day one on this podcast, I was getting murdered by these guys. Started off so slow in everything. Slowly creeping my way back up over the weeks, gaining a little more respect from these two clowns. Now, after today, I am 18 games over 500 in college,
Mm-hmm.
and I am 18-6 in my last 24. So that feels wonderful. So let's provide the viewers with the winning picks, and that is VCU -2 at Richmond. VCU's on a heater. They've won 5 games in a row in conference. Richmond's played one game in the past 3 weeks, and it was against a team that I've never even heard of. It could have been some JUCO school or something. You know, they ended up winning that game by 41 points, and that's just one.
Let's
Let's
go, baby. Cash
go.
me out, young king.
Let's go, baby.
For the fans, that's what we say every time we win a bet in our group chat.
Cash us
That's
out, young king.
cash me out, young king.
Dude, they were down 20 plus at halftime.
Man, I should have taken it then.
Yeah, that would have been nice. All right. But yeah, Richmond's played one game in the last 3 weeks against a team that I've never heard of. They faced no competition, and the VCU is just they're gonna handle them. They play defense very well. They're at the top of that conference. They're looking to make a tournament, and I think that they shut down this Richmond team, especially on the road. They haven't played this season, unfortunately. I was hoping that I'd have some backbone to lean on when it came to this specific matchup, but they haven't, unfortunately. But I still see VCU taking this game by a couple buckets.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Next game I'm going to go with Vanderbilt +3.5 versus Kentucky. Vandy's getting 3.5 at home versus a team that they're not good. They're not a good team. Their team, you know, full of one and done guys that just didn't gel this year. And sure, they get leads in games, but they can't hold leads in games. They played previously against Vanderbilt late January, I believe it was, in early January. They beat them by 3. That would have covered the 3.5, and they're going in opposite directions right now. Kentucky's 0-4 in their last 4 away games, and Vandy's been playing teams a lot tougher as of late. All their games are within 6, 7 points that they're losing, and they're two the better teams in conference. And when they're winning games, they're winning them handily. So I'm gonna go with the home dog here, getting 2 buckets.
Interesting. I kind of lean Kentucky in that one.
Do you?
I don't know why. It's a strange line. I don't think it's big enough.
Okay.
Like if it was like towards 6 or 7, I'd take Vandy no problem.
Hmm.
At 3.5, it's tight. Like Kentucky's good for 33 minutes. Then they start to slow it down and they kind of start stinking. And then with that those last 4 minutes, they're the worst team in college basketball.
Hmm.
It's a statistical fact.
Yeah.
They are the worst team when it comes to scoring the last 4 minutes of college basketball.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that it stays close enough within the first 33 to 36 minutes to where they can, you know, make it a nice, make it a nice end to that game. So I'm gonna stick with Vandy plus 3.5. It's on my card. It's already locked in. I might even. I'm not gonna sprinkle the money line. I was about to say I was going to. Not going to.
You shouldn't.
No, I'm not. But yeah. So Vandy plus 3.5. Next, I'm gonna go with UNC Greensboro -4 at VMI.
Ooh, fading Morgan's VMI team.
I'm fading Morgan's VMI team because they don't impress me all that much. NC Greensboro is outside of Furman the top of that conference. They just lost to Furman twice, but that that's what you're gonna get when you play the top team, and they're better than you. Um, they played earlier in the season. Greensboro won by 17. That was on Greensboro home floor. I don't see why they're only laying 4 points in a game where they're playing on VMI's home floor. So I mean, I don't think that creates a 13-point swing. I really don't. Especially for a team that can score. They do play good defense. VMI scores, but they score against teams like the Citadel, who don't play any defense.
It's
So I
true.
think I think UNC Greensboro slows them down and is able to cover the 4 point spread as road favorites.
I like that. By the way, that is my second favorite conference to bet on. The Southern
Oh
Conference.
yeah, Southern.
My second favorite conference. It's got the Furman boys. I've
Mm-hmm.
been all over Furman for years. Nobody ever listens
Mm-hmm.
to me. Chattanooga, VMI, love them. Love that conference.
Yeah, I've had a couple of good, nice days with the Citadel as well. When they were winning games earlier in the season.
Citadel overs are free money.
Yeah, I'm just happy I stopped because I stopped at the right time
Hmm.
taking them because they started to, just and yeah, that worked out in my favor. Last play I have here. It's a weird mid-February out of conference game. Very weird. When I saw this on the card, I'm like, why is this a game? But UNC Northeastern. Very strange. But I'm going to go with the over 136 in this game. With this total, in my head, it's basically telling me that the bookmakers don't think that Northeastern is going to score more than like 50 points, 55 points. I don't believe that to be true because this isn't this isn't North Carolina versus Virginia. This total is too low. North Carolina can score. Northeastern can score the ball. I mean, they're not a powerhouse offense, but they're one of the top teams in that conference with Hofstra and James Madison U. They play well, they score the ball, they play good defense for that conference, but UNC they can score the lights out of the gym too. They have these 5-star recruits, and I just see this going over the total of 136. More in the range of 150.
I don't hate
Um,
that.
yeah, it's low. It really is.
I
Ultimately, you're saying that Vegas is saying the final score is basically going to be 76-60 UNC because the spread is 16.
hmm somewhere around there. It all depends on whether if Northeastern can somewhat stay in the game,
Hmm.
then it goes over easily.
Hmm.
I think if UNC, because UNC is going to out rebound them by 20. They're the
Hmm.
best rebound team in the country outside of Baylor. There's, they're they're the best offensive rebounding team. Most second chance points. I don't know. I it's I'd bet it just because of the number, not because of
Hmm.
either team. It's just a numbers
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly. That's the same thing for me. It's a number thing. The number's too low. And that's kind of what I play my over unders on a lot is
Hmm.
just seeing I'm looking at these two teams. All right, sure. They both score. They both average 75 points a game, but the total's 140. Why?
Hmm. That's
You
why.
know,
Remember, it was last night I talked to you on the phone. Or the night before about the FSU Virginia game. I
yeah, you
asked
asked me
you,
why I played it.
yeah, why you played the over, but you didn't bet Florida State. Because if you thought the point, in my opinion, like this is how I really think of my first reaction of it. I look at the spread, then I look at the over, and then I think who I think is going to win the game, who's going to be able to, especially in a game like that, like who's going to determine the pace. Where like a team like FSU pushes the pace nonstop, and Virginia's been a little bit faster this year, but still Virginia's slow.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? They're still a very slow team. Like the number is 128. I think you got it at.
Yes,
Like that was
exactly.
that was should have been easy. That was an oversight on my part, but like that line screamed take the over if you thought that FSU was going to win that game.
Right. And yeah, when we were talking about it, I think I explained to you that I didn't feel completely comfortable taking a specific side in that game.
Hmm.
Although, if I were going to take a side, it would have been Florida State, just for the fact that they haven't lost on their home court in well over a year.
Yeah.
So uh, that would have been my play if I were to take a side. But I also mentioned that I noticed a trend with Virginia overs that they go 2 games under, 1 game over, and I based it off of 125, and it was 128, so it wasn't too far off. So I just used there was a 3 point spread there. I, it was in line for an over, so I took it. Yeah, and yeah, that UNC Northeastern over, that is my final play. Are you frozen?
All right, you degenerates. You're probably wondering, what am I doing here and what happened to the podcast I was just listening to? Well, you see, your two degenerate friends were unable to pay the internet bill this week thanks to Seton Hall being a flaming pile of dog shit. Hopefully, they'll be able to play the bookie today or tomorrow. They'll get that internet back up and record another episode for you guys. In the meantime, if you want to find their picks, go to @bettingthediagonal on Twitter, and you can find all their picks for today and tomorrow on there. All right, peace out, you degenerates. And remember, it's only money.